You listed the home. Week 1 seemed fine, you had a few showings, maybe some interest, and nothing felt alarming yet. Then week 2 passed, then week 3. Now showings are slowing down, there are no offers, and your seller is starting to ask questions you don't have great answers for yet. That's the moment that matters, because once you realize a listing has gone cold, the next 48 hours are critical. What you do in that window usually decides whether you're leading the situation or just reacting to it. So let's walk through the 48-hour playbook step by step. The market context that makes this urgent. This isn't always a bad listing problem. In many cases, it's a market problem. A few years ago, a seller's market trained agents to wait. If the home didn't sell right away, you could often give it more time because tight inventory covered a lot of the stakes. That instinct can hurt you now. In much of the country, homes are taking longer to sell. There are more sellers than buyers nationally, and the buyers who are active are moving more carefully. They're comparing more homes, taking more time, asking more questions, requesting inspections, and negotiating harder. So when the listing stalls in week 2 or 3, you can't treat it like nothing is happening. Every extra day on market changes how buyers see the home. At first, they ask, should we go see it? Later they ask, why hasn't it sold? That's the problem. The job in the first 48 hours is to stop the listing from becoming stale before that becomes a story. Hours 0 to 4. Diagnose before you act. The instinct is to do something. The correct first move is to understand what's happening. Answer 3 questions before touching anything. Price, presentation, or marketing problem. No showings at all point almost entirely to price. Decent showings and no offers points to presentation or price. Few showings points to marketing or price. What changed in the competitive set since you listed? Pull a fresh competitive analysis. In a shifting market, new listings can undercut your position in 2 weeks. What does your seller actually know right now? A cold listing is almost always also a communication gap. The seller is on week 2 information in week 4, so their expectations have drifted from reality. Your first instinct may be to do something fast. Cut the price, boost the post, rewrite the copy, call the seller, blame the market. But the first move isn't action, it's diagnosis. Before you change anything, answer 3 questions. First, is this a price problem, a presentation problem, or a marketing problem? If there are almost no showings, that usually points to price, marketing, or both. If you're getting showings but no offers, that usually points to price, presentation, condition, or buyer concern once they're inside the home. If you're getting online viewers but no showings, buyers may like the idea of the home, but something in the price, photos, location, or description isn't strong enough to make them act. Second, what changed in the competitive set? Pull a fresh comparative analysis. Don't rely on the one you prepared before the listing went live. In a shifting market, a new listing can undercut your position in 1 week. A price reduction nearby can reset buyer expectations. A pending sale can show where your buyers are actually moving. You need to know what the buyer is comparing you to today, not what they were comparing to you 3 weeks ago. Third, what does your seller actually know? A cold listing is often a communication gap. You may know showings are slowing. You may know feedback is weak. You may know the competition changed, but your seller may still be operating from week 1 optimism. If the seller's expectations are behind the market data, the next conversation will be harder than it needs to be. By the way, I'm Doug Smart, co-founder and tech stack developer of Smart Agent Alliance, an eXp Realty sponsor team. We help agents work more effectively and efficiently by bringing together the resources from Smart Agent Alliance, the Wolfpack, and eXp Realty into one organized agent portal. Our agents get access to a personalized link page, marketing templates, an agent attraction funnel, elite training, and systems they need to build both production and revenue share. And because we're part of the Wolfpack, eXp's fastest growing sponsor with the highest retention, our agents have access to weekly masterminds and one of the strongest support communities at eXp, all for no cost to our agents. Quick thing before we go further, if you find this useful, subscribe. We publish this kind of breakdown every week, and it's the easiest way to make sure the next one finds you. Hours 4 to 12. Outreach as intelligence, not marketing. Before you relaunch the listing, find out why it went cold. That means calls, not just texts or emails. Start with every buyer agent who showed the home. Ask a direct question. What held your buyer back? And what would have needed to be different for them to write an offer? That question matters because it doesn't just ask, what did they think? It asks, what stopped them from acting? You may hear price, you may hear condition, you may hear layout, you may hear location, you may hear the buyer liked it, but liked another home better. That's all useful. Then call 2 or 3 agents you trust who work that area. Ask for a blunt outside read, not a polite one, a useful one. You might say, if you had a buyer in this price range, what would keep you from showing this home or writing on it? Then document everything. You'll need that information for the seller conversation. It's much easier to talk about market feedback when you're not relying on vague impressions. Hours 12 to 24, a seller call, framework and language. This is the call agents often dread, but delaying it makes it worse. The seller already knows something isn't right. The seller call has 4 parts. First, report what happened. Stick with facts. Something like, we've had 8 showings in 21 days. 2 comparable homes went pending during that time. Our online views are strong, but the showings have slowed. That's data. It is not an apology. Second, share the feedback. Don't over soften it. If multiple agents said the price felt high, say that. If buyers like the location but struggled with a condition, say that. If the floor plan is the issue, say that too. You're not insulting the home, you're reporting the market. Third, separate what can change from what can't. You can't change the location, floor plan, or market season, but you can change price, presentation, and outreach. This is where you can say, I'd rather negotiate with an offer than keep getting silence. That line helps because sellers often see a price adjustment as losing, but the silence of no offer is worse. Fourth, propose a specific next step. Don't end with, let's see what happens. Say what you recommend, what you'll do, and when you'll review the results again. A vague plan creates another vague week. A specific plan gives everyone something to follow. Hours 24 to 48. Relaunch, not a quiet adjustment. This is where many agents make the mistake. They cut the price by $10,000, change nothing else, and hope the market suddenly cares. But where you cut the price matters. If you move from $812,000 to $799,000, you may open the house to buyers searching under $800,000. But if you move from $812,000 to $802,000, you may be showing the same listing to the same buyers who already passed. So before you reduce, ask, what price point reaches a new buyer pool? A good price adjustment should reflect the market feedback and improve the home's search position. Then relaunch it. Update the photos if needed, rewrite the copy using what buyers actually liked. Reach back out to agents with a clear reason to take another look. Make sure the new price and photos have been updated everywhere before you drive traffic. The goal is to make the listing feel repositioned, not just cheaper. What not to do. Don't cut the price just to say you cut the price. If the new price doesn't reach a new buyer pool or change how the listing appears in search, it may not move the needle. Don't make a quiet price change with no relaunch. That can look like desperation instead of strategy. And most importantly, don't wait for the seller to call you. The person who calls first usually controls the conversation. If you're ready to see the full EXP structure, check out our 18-minute inside look. It's the fastest, clearest breakdown of EXP you'll find anywhere. The link's in the description. And if you want to strategize what your business would look like at EXP, we're happy to talk. Contact info is also in the description. If your seller is still anchored to what homes we're selling for in 2022, check out the video on the screen. And if you want to go one step further and build the price reduction plan into your listing process, check out the other one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.